I talk a lot about stories that are Rosetta Stones, stories that are skeleton keys, stories that really give you an insight into how real-world psychology works. And it gives you a snapshot, almost a gauge or a barometer on what's happening out there. First off, I don't want anything bad to happen to Barack Hussein Obama, because that's the only thing that could save the New World Order and the work they've done with this puppet to bring in this tyranny. And by that, I mean the New World Order, the global crime syndicate, the different criminal elements that work together through governments to expand their control and dumb down the population. A lot of stuff could save them. But I meant the only thing that can save Obama as their vehicle, as their puppet, and his legacy would be for him to get hurt. I want to destroy everything Barack Obama has promoted and done. I personally don't even wish him any harm because I understand he's just a deranged puppet of the establishment. And we disempower the establishment, the corrupt elements of it, when we stop hating their mindless puppets. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't attack the puppet because it's a figurehead. I just want to be clear that it's not just that the Secret Service has been here over the years, probably 10 times, let's not exaggerate, it's probably 10 times, maybe 9, 10 times, construing things that we've said about the president to be threatening when we've never been threatening to Bush or Clinton or Obama, the three presidents that I've been on the air, you know, since they were in office, in my time as a broadcaster. I don't sit there and not call for violence against Obama because I'm scared of the Secret Service and the government. I do it because I'm really scared of somebody doing something to Obama and turning him into a martyr. I mean, I legitimately don't want anything to happen to him or any other traitors like Nancy Pelosi and John Boehner and the rest of them, because I want to see all of the policies they've pushed discredited and destroyed, and the only thing that can pull their bacon out of the fire is an assassination or assassination attempt. Remember a decade or so ago, the Taiwanese president got caught in a fake assassination attempt against himself, and they claimed the bullet grazed his leg in a parade, and it turned out that it was all fake and that he just cut himself, and it was staged by the Secret Service over there. That's the kind of stuff I'm worried about, because if I was the New World Order who thought Obama would get everything they wanted done, and he hasn't gotten a lot of it done, he's gotten some of it done, the only way when they've spent billions of dollars 2 times getting him into office to rehabilitate him would be to have the image of him under attack. Now, I don't think these 2 people that scaled the walls, and one of them from Austin, Texas, who got in the front door of the White House, I don't think either one of these people are being sent in as government agents, as provocateurs, to then draw attention to the fact that there's no security at the White House when there's massive security. I don't think that's what's happening here. There are a lot of mentally ill people, and I've told the story a lot of times. Every time a crazy person jumps off the Empire State Building or the World Trade Center, the police would have to be stationed there for the next week because copycats would instantly go and try to kill themselves. And police found if a black guy jumped off, 4 black guys would show up to jump off. Or if an old white woman jumped off, 4 or 5 old white women would show up. People would identify with whoever jumped off and splatted at the bottom, and then they would say, that's a good idea, I want to go do that. It's a copycat. It's the same thing with these mass shootings. All the system's got to do is wind up some mental patient, let them go do the shooting. We've proven that's happened before. And then hype the daylights out of it. And other screwballs will then go kill people. It's similar to death by cop, where people go and pull gun on a cop in a major city. It'll end up being on the news, and then somebody the next day will go out and pull a gun on a cop. It's just so many people are so suggestible This is only one part of the story. It's why I call it a Rosetta Stone, because through it we can learn so much about psychology. The bigger thing here is that they evacuated it both times. They're all over the news, panting and hyperventilating like it's the end of the world. And oh my gosh, it's so scary. Oh my gosh, it's so dangerous. All they got to have is armed men at every door of the White House, which they have. And no one's going to get in there and do anything. Now, they've wanted to put barricades up around it because they're worried somebody will drive a truck of explosives into it. And let me tell you, with ISIS and the border being wide open and ISIS being a real terror group, that's a real possibility. But here's the deal. ISIS doesn't bite the hand that feeds it, as we covered in the first 30 minutes, and as Senator Rand Paul spoke a few days ago on the Senate floor. That's not going to happen. They won't even attack Israel. They're not attacking Saudi Arabia. They're not attacking Turkey. They're not attacking the U.S. now because they've been given 600 tons of weapons and are driving U.S. Army Special Forces armored trucks. Now, do you really think we just left those at bases for them to come get them? I predicted they'd let them have the Iraqi caches to do this before it happened. I've studied this every day, folks. I read the Jane's Weapons Quarterly. I talk to the military analyst. I talk to the former head of Special Forces, not one but two generals that were both the former heads of Special Forces. We have the sources, and we've known the whole battle plan of what they're doing for global destabilization for 4 years. But shifting gears again, this shows what a paper tiger the entire establishment is and how pathetically cowardly they are, that they're evacuating the White House and shaking in fear that a homeless military vet who served a whole bunch of tours and is obviously mentally ill, abused by this system. They didn't make you serve more than one tour in World War II. And let me tell you, it affected every World War II vet I knew that was in serious combat. How about 5 tours, 10 tours, 20 tours? A lot of these guys, though, have been in so many tours, they can't stop or they will freak out and implode. One treatment is to stay in. I don't know if my cousin's got any disorders or problems. He's completely normal and smart and wonderful guy, and will come help you, fix a leak at your house at 2 a.m. if you need him to. But I'm not kidding. Somebody ought to write a book about him. 31 years in the Army, more than 20 combat tours. He's seen it all. Africa, Latin America, Asia, Iraq. I mean, I was like 10 years old. I'm 40 when he was a private in the Army going off to be in secret operations in the Middle East. I remember all of it. And he moved up to be about as high level as you can get before you're a enlisted officer. But I bet money, because sometimes he'll get out for a year. He's done that a few times. He goes right back. It's kind of like a Hurt Locker. Because that's all he knows. That's all he knows. That's who he is. And he operates really good for somebody who's 50-something years old, 51, 52 years old. If he's in better shape than I am. All those tours, all that combat, everything. It's just amazing. All right, we're going to come back. And I want to get to some other news, but I want to finish up and put bookends on this about the paper tiger of the invincible empire shaking in its boots over people climbing the fence. Meanwhile, we have Chinese nuke subs with cruise missile launchers off our shore. That's coming up straight ahead. I'm Alex Jones. Well, they're worried about the Tea Party. The FBI is. We got nuke subs off our coast. Thanks a lot, New World Order. I want to encourage everybody to remember that we have some of the most groundbreaking, cutting-edge, high-quality supplements available at InfoWarsLife.com. And not only are you getting high-quality supplements at very affordable prices, you're funding the absolute tip of the spear in the information war. So I want to invite everybody to go to InfoWarsStore.com or InfoWarsLife.com to get the amazing Oxy powder, a special type of oxygen, proprietary. It's been out for 20 years, but we have the flagship group that we're getting it from, pun intended, Dr. Group. Goes right through the GI tract, just flushing everything out. Oxy powder, discounted and available right now at InfoWarsLife.com. We are getting in more DNA Force this week. We have the OcuPower, probably the most powerful eye formula out there with the non-GMO, super high-quality concentrated compounds, some of them patented, known to help with eyesight and other nerves in the body as well. Not just the ocular areas, but it focuses on that. InfoWarsLife.com. High-quality water filtration, the ProPure G2, the clearly filtered, 10% off, the already lowest price with promo code WATER. All of that and more available at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We can answer all your questions, 888-253-3139. Okay, so the politicians are in these big, giant armored compounds, huge jumbo jets, red carpets, red carpet events with Hollywood stars. Why, they're so wonderful. What does it signify that you've got a mentally ill person in a Pokemon outfit, and he's admittedly in the news in the Troy Record saying he had a history of mental illness, wanting to meet with the president to have him heal him? I think he needs to go to Benny Hinn. I think that's who he goes to, not to President Obama, not to Baphomet. But who knows, different strokes for different folks. So you've got that going on. And then now you've got this Army veteran scaling over who've been homeless for a while, living with 2 dogs in a camp shack, they're saying. This is just people totally desperate, enamored with celebrity, just like you'll get mentally ill people that try to climb the fence at Paris Hilton's house every week. Or you'll get mentally ill people that try to, break into where John Lennon lived in New York. I mean, this is what happens when they turn the president into this pop celebrity, where he doesn't deliver anything. He torches the country. He's the figurehead of that. It isn't angry people that hate Obama you've got to worry about. It is the mentally ill people you've got to worry about. And this sick society is generating so many of them. But the wicked flee when none pursue. I forget what Bible verse that is, but maybe we can look that up. But the wicked flee when none pursue. And that's what's happening here. The wicked flee when none pursue. And I've always used that quote, but the new True Grit with Bridges starts with that. It's Proverbs 28:1. Thank you. The wicked flee when none pursue. When the establishment is doing all these bad things, any authoritarian regime gets more and more oppressive. Presidents up until Kennedy's day didn't have all that security. And did security keep Kennedy safe? Here's another question. Overblown security? Did having the NSA spying on everybody pre-9/11 protect us? Having all this spying, did it protect us from ISIS launching all these offensives? No, because our own power structure basically ran the whole thing. The truth is, we have a power structure that's very mafioso, very thuggish, and just like North Korea or just like Mexico, our system now resembles a classical Roman Empire in decline, a banana republic. Does that mean the average cop is a bad man or woman? No. Does it mean the average FBI agent's inherently bad? No. Does it mean the average person in the CIA is bad inherently? No. A lot of them join for the right reasons. But if you think that the top isn't rotten and that corruption isn't intensifying at the highest levels, you're blind. And denying it is going to let the corruption completely and absolutely take over. The Constitution lives in the hearts of school teachers and auto mechanics and cops and judges and firefighters and factory owners and miners and just everybody. It could come back anytime like a phoenix from the ashes. So is the average cop a bad person, even though I criticize the police state? No, I've actually found on average, they're better than the general public. More awake, more dedicated, understanding what's happening. But on a very short social engineering leash and being manipulated big time. That's why we got to reach out to the police, because tyranny or liberty will come to your door in a uniform. It's a historic fact. Now, shifting gears into other news here. This is out of the China Daily Mail. And it's also in their major state-run media, reporting that China is now planning to move nuke subs officially off the U.S. coast. The head of their Navy said just last week, as well as their Army. You've seen these reports that they're preparing for nuclear war and see us as the main enemy now. So that's going on. Meanwhile, we have a White House that evacuates when a guy in a Pokemon outfit with a Pokemon doll climbs over it. So that's what's going on here. And they're saying, we'll prosecute you. You're all going to get in trouble. Do you think that's going to stop crazy people? Since when did threats of jail ever stop someone completely out of their mind? Address why we have crazy people everywhere increasing. Every time I hear about somebody getting shot for no reason, like a cop in Austin by somebody in Walmart, I said that person's going to be on some type of psychotropic drug. And, of course, they were. And you're not going to stop cop killing by throwing that guy who was a zombie in jail on a bunch of Xanax. You're going to stop it by phasing out drugs that are causing this. I mean, it's so simple. But see, they don't want that. They'd rather just grandstand. Oh, it's horrible. There's crazy people just shooting people randomly. Yeah, because we're an immoral, decadent, demonic society, as evidenced earlier in John Bound's report. I mean, I'm sorry, and I'm not on some moral high horse here. I got my own problems, but at least I want to be good. I want to try to be a good person. I love Jesus Christ. Who do you love? I mean, is your God the mainstream media? Because if our God is Hollywood, our world's going to look like Hollywood. What you idolize is what you build. It's what you create. And if you idolize a father that's strong and works hard and is honorable, you'll probably be strong and honorable. But if you're brought up by a bunch of psychopaths, brought up by the system, you're going to idolize that. And that's what we're dealing with, is unprecedented evil increasing in this society. I didn't even get to this. We'll cover it tomorrow. A giant military plant, a weapons plant, exploded in eastern Ukraine. Devastation was massive. The photos and videos are up on Infowars.com. Looked like a nuclear explosion going off, or an atomic explosion, but so did that fertilizer plant in West Texas. The town of West Texas, not actual West Texas, the town of West. Remember, that blew up, looked like a nuke going off, and the Ukrainians have said that the Russians nuked it. No, actually, Russian separatists, probably armed by the Russians, fired 3 missiles into it, and that was also videotaped. The airport was also attacked, and it's just terrible. I mean, the people running our country, not we, but people running our country, have us in a pitch battle in Syria and in Ukraine with the Russians. And I'm not, again, saying the Russians are good, but the Russians didn't start it. And where I come from, when you start something, you're to blame for it. When you start something, you're to blame for it. So that's escalating very, very quickly right now. Obviously, Scottish independence didn't happen. A lot of allegations of fraud. Some video evidence of that up on Infowars.com. The defeated nationalist leader is a socialist. That's kind of an oxymoron. Says Scots tricked out of independence. No, they were so scared of the socialist and the communist that they didn't do it. That's what happened. They were so scared of labor, they jumped right back in the arms of the Tories that are basically the same people. So that's what's happening on that front. Now, again, continuing, I mentioned this earlier, but I want to hit on it in closing. College student forced to remove American flag from balcony. The school said it could offend foreign people, close quote. Just like NBC reports all over California, you can't wear American flags at school because it's offensive. That's like North Korea. They let you wear an American flag shirt if you're a visitor in North Korea, but not in America. And again, they want to take the most extreme example and make you submit to it because then the sky's the limit. Remember Massachusetts school districts last week wouldn't take 2,000 plus free pocket constitutions? So there was a backlash. They said, oh, these are controversial. These might be offensive. That's what, if you don't support Obamacare, you're racist. If you don't turn your guns in, you're racist. They're just using this to manipulate us. It's cold-blooded. They're not liberals. They're authoritarians. And John Boehner and others work with them. Powerful Sunday transmission. Great job with the crew. God bless you all. See you back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.